Chapter 28 of The Haunted Island by E.H. Visiak. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Ben Tucker. Chapter 28, The Ghost Face. The tide was at ebb, but I walked down the shore until I could see, faint and ashen, the curled crests of the breakers and the foam writhing upon the sand. I began to make along to the northward. There came a flash of lightning, glimmering upon the face of the high cliff. It was followed a little after by another, a blinding flash, and so continued, intermittent. Presently a sort of hoarse, rolling sound came to me above the clamor of the breakers. It waxed louder as I proceeded, and soon I knew what it was. The sound of waters falling from a blowhole high up on the lofty cliff. But as I drew nearer, for the fourth time that night, terror laid hold on me. For as a flash of lightning fell upon the waterfall, from above it there looked forth that frightful visage which had struck terror to the heart of every man on board the Tiger. I beheld the thing but for a moment, yet the horror of it was more than I could bear. A dizziness came over me, and I sank down in a swoon. It was early morning when I came to myself. A tumultuous and thunderous sound was in my ears. It was the clamor of the great waterfall, joined with the roaring of the sea. A wind was sprung up, a high and rocking wind that came in flurries, and swept round and in and out the bends and indentations of the cliff, to leap howling upon the giant headland. The sea, risen high upon the shore, gnashed and foamed in great breakers. But the sky was cloudless blue, and the firmament clear like crystal. My face was wet with the flying scud. My clothes had dried upon me. I felt fresh and vigorous, as after deep sleep. I lay recalling the grisly happenings of the night, and, on the thought of the ghost face, a shadow and a chill came over me. Yea, even in the warmth and light of the sun. Yet on a sudden I took another kind of thought. Getting to my feet, I looked directly upon the cliff above the waterfall, and there was the face, aye, even as I suspected. For now I knew what it really was. A sculptured face, vast and horrible, hewed out of the rock. Yet even so, scarce I could bear to look upon it. It was vast, it was prodigious, it was a hellish thing. Never hideous gargoyle, never infernal ghost or chimera seen in dreams, looked with an aspect so frightful and malign. Who, I wondered, had conceived it, and whose hand had wrought it? And immediately I remembered those wondrous works of sculpture on the walls of Ambrose's cell. Ambrose was the man. This, then, was what had scared us on board the ship, near out of our wits, and no doubt many other ship's company besides. A sculptured face, the phantasm of a mind diseased, a nightmare made stone. And by the same token I perceived what we had taken for flowing white robes of the figure was nothing else but flowing water, the water falling from the blowhole beneath the visage from the high cliff. As to the illumination, that did not stumble me. I had made it my play-game often when a child to cast a light reflected on a mirror, so an arc of the strange white light, cast upon a mirror and reflected upon the face and falling water, might well have served to create that ghostly appearance. Footnote. How this white light was contrived I never could learn. Original footnote. Perhaps by means of a radioactive earth discovered by Dr. Compicus. End footnote. But where was the mirror? There was a cave nearby. I stepped to it and entered in. 'Twas deep and dark, but I felt about the walls of it, and sure enough found the mirror. It stood set up against the rock, wrapped in a canvas case. Thus, then, the great mystery stood revealed. A chance, albeit a wondrous chance, had unmasked the trickery. For if the lightning had not fallen, as it did, directly upon the face, and in that very moment of time, 'tis 1,000 to 1 I had never seen it. For on removing a little to one side, I found that the face was no longer to be descried. 'Twas the same when I essayed the other way. The thing appeared only by direct observation. By means of this ghostly scarecrow, I apprehend, Dr. Compicus had sought to preserve his island inviolate of strangers, frighting away any ships, save those he wanted, which happened to wander near, scattering reports and rumors of terror, building on the superstitions of the sea. But why should he have employed the thing to terrify us, whom, by means of Uvery, he had enticed hither? I could not at first understand. However, casting back my thoughts upon past events, I saw the fact. In suborning Uvery to the work, Dr. Coppicus no doubt had given him a sign to show forth on his returning in our ship, which sign being wanting at our coming to the island, he had been deceived as to what we were. End of chapter 28.